Joining me now are two of the members of that bipartisan House task force, GOP Congressman Michael Waltz of Florida and Democratic Congresswoman Madeleine Dean of Pennsylvania. Thank you both for your time. Congresswoman, I want to start with you. We have heard from the acting Secret Service director. He said there wasn't clear communication about who was responsible for that rooftop. Now, in the days after all of this happened, we heard from some local authorities. Here's what the Butler Township Commissioner, Edward Natale, told our Lawrence Jones.
Was it your guys' job to secure that building where the shooter was on the top of the roof?
Absolutely not.
Now, on that as well, the Butler County Sheriff said it wasn't our responsibility. Congresswoman, are you confident you'll get an answer about who was supposed to be in charge of that roof?
Well, it's good to be with you and to be with my friend Mike. I will tell you that what we are learning is there are a number of failures. It's not just one failure. Certainly, the inability to control that property, the AGR property, is one of the huge failures. The communications breakdown, the dual command centers or communication centers, which were not properly staffed. There's a tremendous amount, many failures here. What I think is very important is that we have this task force, that it is bipartisan, that the chair, Mike Kelly, who is from Butler, and ranking member Crow agree on several things. Number one, we want to get the facts and the data and see who was in control of what pieces of the property. Number two, find out what went wrong. The Secret Service must accept full responsibility, and they have. But to use the word complacent in protecting former presidents or presidential candidates or vice presidential candidates, there can be no complacency. So we're going to find a number of failures. Thursday's hearing will start with local, state and local law enforcement who were participating in the event. Ultimately, though, the responsibility lies with the Secret Service.
Well, and I know that so much of this is trying to get information from local, but Congressman, also federal authorities, and a number of your counterparts on the Senate side say that's not happening. I want to play a little bit of both a D and an R on what they're saying on this on the Senate side.
I am reaching the point of total outrage because the response from the Department of Homeland Security has been totally lacking. In fact, I think it's tantamount to stonewalling in many respects.
This is stonewalling at this point. I don't know why they're stonewalling, but it can't be good, and it's time for them to come clean.
Does this task force have the power to compel those answers?
Absolutely it does, and it should. At least, Shannon, the Secret Service is being forthcoming about its failures in communication, guidance to locals, having appropriate command posts. The FBI, on the other hand, is completely stonewalling this task force. It has not been forthcoming. I would love to see Director Wray and Secretary Mayorkas have a press conference like the Secret Service just did. We still know virtually nothing about Crooks, the shooter in Butler, about his encrypted accounts, how he learned to build those IEDs. Was he working with people overseas? Nothing about how he was radicalized. Clearly to take this assassination attempt. And if Director Wray won't be forthcoming, we should subpoena him now. This is a moment, Shannon, where you tell the American people what they know, what you know when you know it, not, we'll get to it when we get done with our investigation. And the other thing where there's mounting bipartisan frustration is on Iran. Iran has multiple plots to kill President Trump ongoing, one of which has been intercepted. They just hacked his campaign and gave the results of that hack to the Biden-Harris campaign. And when asked about it behind closed doors, the FBI would not give us any information to the Intelligence Committee just this week. It's completely unacceptable, and we need to issue those subpoenas.
Congresswoman, is it fair to say that this second believed attempt from last Sunday has been folded into the purview of what you're doing? And do you think that the task force will be on track to get a report out by that December deadline?
We have a very compressed timeline. You're absolutely right. And it makes sense that we would fold in this horrific second apparent attempted assassination against the former president. I want to set a baseline, which is that political violence has no place in this country. We need to settle our differences at the ballot box. When you talk about the FBI, I do want to recall that FBI Director Wray did come before the Judiciary Committee in days after the Butler shooting. So we were able to gather some good information from him then. And we are gathering tremendous, the task force is gathering thousands of pages of documents. There's much more to learn. And I agree with Mike Waltz. We want America to transparently know what happened, what went wrong, what went right in both of these instances that did spare the life of the former president, but what went so grievously wrong. We will track down every one of these possibilities, and we will get a report out. The reason I have a confidence in that is both sides have staffed up with a really talented group of lawyers and investigators. They've already conducted dozens of transcribed interviews. We will get the job done, even in this compressed timeline.
Quick final word.
Can I just say that this issue of resources, we need to see, and I think the American people are demanding some accountability. And accountability isn't you get to kind of retire and sail off into the sunset. Some real accountability for what has gone wrong. And Mayorkas today could shift resources internally. We can talk about more funding, but that will take some time to get into place. And for God's sake, if we need to buy the Secret Service some drones, I'll hold up my credit card and buy drones, technology, whatever they need to get us through this election over the next few months.
Congressman, Congresswoman, thank you both very much for your time. We appreciate it, and good luck this week. We'll be watching.